That morning, the sun had just risen from the eastern horizon, its golden rays shining on the vast expanse of rice fields. The fresh air typical of the countryside felt calming, combined with the sound of trickling water flowing in a small irrigation channel on the edge of the rice fields. I stood on the rice field embankment, looking at the young rice plants. The fresh green leaves swayed gently in the wind, creating a view that was so beautiful and calming to the heart. With careful steps, I went down the embankment and entered the flooded rice field area. The water felt cool on my feet, flowing slowly between the young rice stalks that were only about half my knee high. This is where I started my search for snails, one of the small creatures that often hide in the mud or between the rice stalks. I bent down, my eyes carefully examining every corner of the rice field. Sometimes, my hands touched the mud slowly, feeling the presence of slippery snail shells. Occasionally, I found one or two snails hiding behind the clumps of rice. I picked them up carefully and put them in a small container that I brought. This rice field not only offers beautiful scenery, but is also a habitat for various types of small creatures, including snails. I continued to walk slowly, making sure that no part of the rice field was missed. In between searches, I stopped for a moment to enjoy the surrounding atmosphere. Small birds flew above the rice fields, while the sounds of crickets and frogs combined into a unique natural music. As the day began to dawn, the sun rose higher in the sky, making the water in the rice fields feel slightly warm. I looked back, seeing my footsteps forming a random pattern in the mud. The container in my hand was almost full of the snails that I had managed to find. The feeling of tiredness was slowly replaced by satisfaction, because this search was not only about the results, but also the experience of being at one with nature. With a smile on my face, I walked back to the embankment, carrying the results of my search. Today, I feel closer to nature, enjoying every simple moment in the rice fields that are full of life. The young rice plants seem to wave, as if thanking me for protecting them from the small snails that often interfere with their growth. For some people, this may seem like a simple job. But for me, this is an important step to protect the results of my hard work. Snails, especially the golden apple snail, are very harmful pests. They greedily attack young rice plants, eating the leaves until they are gone. If left alone, these snails can destroy the entire crop in the rice field. I can't let that happen, because every grain of rice that is produced later is the hope for my family and my own life. This activity is tiring, but I enjoy it. I feel like a guard protecting my small field from threats. In addition, the snails I collect will not be wasted. Some of them I can sell at the market, because golden snails are starting to be in demand as food. The rest, I usually give as feed for ducks or chickens. So, besides protecting my plants, this activity also provides additional benefits. I know there are other ways to control snails, such as using pesticides. However, I prefer this method because it is more environmentally friendly. Pesticides may kill snails quickly, but I am worried that their effects can damage the soil and water in my rice fields. I want to maintain the balance of nature here, because the rice fields are not only where I plant rice, but also home to many other creatures. As the sun began to rise, I looked at my bucket that was already full of snails. I stood for a moment, letting the gentle breeze dry the sweat on my face. Seeing the rice fields that were now cleaner from snails, my heart felt relieved. I know what I am doing is part of the struggle to keep my rice fields productive. I smiled, imagining these rice fields growing well and producing abundant grains of rice. It is not just about protecting crops, but also about nurturing hope. Hope for a good harvest, for a brighter future, and for a more prosperous life. This is a little bit of my work in the rice fields. Thank you for watching my video. See you in another video.